talking to you. Well, I promised to starting on the rope incident. The third shot, I think, of this. Well, I did make one a long time ago, but we're out in the parking lot. T-Plant. It's now part museum, part operational. And stretch sessions. Moo. Calf stretches. Moo. Moo. And, hey, Yakima Herald called us a bunch of Homer Simpsons. Oh, not us, but it was Tank Farms Division. 177 waste tanks holding 56 million gallons of plutonium process waste. High level. Buried in underground tanks. And two guys went out to get the level of one of these tanks. And evidently, I've talked to different people about this. Some tell me that most are completely clueless. They don't know anything about Hanford. And the other half people have first-hand knowledge of it. They know more than I do about these things, the tanks. And so they drop a rope down, and then well, I don't know if it's the official procedure, but it was commonly done as they'd cut it. Then you just drop it down. Well, these guys reeled it back up. And they were dressed in gear, but they hadn't done it properly, at least one of them. And they didn't have supervisors sign off on it. So they got exposed. At least one of them did. And so they had to go to the hospital for that night as a precaution. And the entire Tank Farms division was shut down. Everybody still had their jobs, but they went to safety meetings all day long, every day. Every conference room in town was booked for months on end. Steve Cantrell was working in the Tank Farms at one time, and he had a theory that the weather would affect the temperatures of the tanks. And so he talked to his bosses about it, and he said, well, we don't have cleanup budget, we just have production budget. So he went on his own time to take the temperatures and record them according to the dates, seasons, whatnot. And then when the cleanup started, they had funding to do that on company time, to where the thermometers would transmit the temperatures to the computers. And that's about all I had heard about that. And I met another guy that worked in Tank Farms. He walked into our trailer one time, and I said, hey, can I help you find somebody? He said, no. Who are you guys? It's just a damn good question. And so I saw him at Sherry's a couple days later, and he said, yeah, I live in Yakima. Want to come with me on a road trip? I said, all right. He was a procedure writer for Tank Farms. And we were a central procedures group, and he had never heard of anything like that before, and neither had my mentor. Had worked he worked different nuclear sites around the country every 6 months or so until he took a permanent job here with Jim, our boss. And he said he'd never seen anything like this before. Central Procedures Group. And I did graphics, which I've done videos about before, but I might do them again. So one of the few staff meetings I got to attend was PDCME, Procedure Development and Control Maintenance Engineering, one of 5 units of maintenance engineering under Ernie Ham. Who I want to track down one of these days and get some stories from him. But I said, yeah, some people don't know who we are. And I'd like to write an article for the company paper about it. So Jim, our boss, said, yeah, sounds like a good idea. But my supervisor pulled me over and said, oh no, we got enough, we're backlogged enough as it is. We don't want any more customers than we have. And so years later, I called Jim socially, and it was after a computer conference I went to. And he said, you still working on that article? I said, well, not really, but I did write something for a job interview. And he said, oh, I know that guy. He works down the hall from me. So I sent him a copy of it in the email. It was describing how he started the group. And it's basically Hanford.com. Back in the day, when there weren't very many .coms out there, or any as far as I knew. I mean, it was not really a .com, but it was the closest thing to it for 1992.